Hello, Professor Nitish. Good morning.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Namaste. I just director is joining. Then
Okay, sir.
we are going to start.
Baljot and Ayushi,
Yes, sir.
are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So as
sir.
soon as our director sir joins, you can start.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, Professor Nitish.
Ji sir, namaste.
I think there's some problem with my speaker system. I'll just check.
Yes, sir. Sure. But you are audible perfectly. Ji sir, good morning. So should we start, sir? Everyone.
Yes. Please.
Okay. So Ranjit ji, please start.
Your meeting. Triple IT को हम 2 मिनट रुक गया इसके
Good morning,
Good morning,
everyone.
sir. Sir, Honorable Director sir, So, sir, with your kind permission, can we start today's program?
Please start.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, Baljot and Ayusri, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to the respected director, sir, and all the other professors and our students. So I'm so grateful to welcome our students to the commencement of our orientation camp 2021. This time, due to COVID, we are having it in online mode. So I feel privileged to open this event and stand here with many accomplished men and women.
Good morning, everyone. So, I'm much delighted to invite Dr. Nitish Purohit to give the welcome note. Dr. Nitish Purohit is professor in EC department and Dean Academics at IIIT Allahabad. Dr. Purohit has delivered 60 invited talks in various FTP conferences, workshops, including a few motivational talks.
Okay, Baljot, thank you so much. Everyone knows me here, fortunately.
Oh,
So, I am taking over. Good morning to all. Honorable Director IIIT Allahabad, Professor Varma ji. Honorable Padma Shri Professor Maninder Agarwal Sahab, Professor U.S. Tiwari, Professor Shekhar Verma, Professor Ranjit Singh, Shashikant, I can see, and all other faculty members who have joined this particular program, and my dear students. So this is something, a program which is which has some uniqueness. And last year only we started this particular orientation camp program. It is originally planned to be organized at that point when the student is joining the IIIT Allahabad. But last time the session was delayed so much that we decided that it should be postponed and let us start after the first semester is over. And that's why actually it's orientation camp 2021, but we are organizing it in 2022 April. I must first of all congratulate you all for joining this esteemed institute. And yes, by joining this particular institute, more or less your future is secured, your earnings are secured, and there is no doubt that we are going to impart highest level of technical skills, and you will be able to serve the nation by your technical skills, maybe by employment, getting employed somewhere, or maybe through your own company. This particular program has been conceptualized initially. Professor Tapobrat Leri was the Dean Academic, and he came up with some proposal in the Senate. And there was a huge deliberation in the Senate. People identified that yes, there is a need that not only in our institute, but at other institutes where the cream of the Indian students are going, all the IITs, NITs, and other parts as well. In the way the school education has been evolved in last a few years, there is a need that besides imparting technical skills, we must need to take care of other life skills. And with the same, a committee was constituted by the Senate. I was also part of the committee, and then the committee came up with a recommendation, which was ultimately accepted by the Senate. And then we started this last time. I got the opportunity for conducting this orientation camp 2020. This time there are a few more faculties like Professor Ranjit Singh is primarily taking care of the orientation camp. So there are three aims which are required to be fulfilled through this particular orientation camp. The first one is the students should learn life skills. And whenever we are saying life skills, what does it mean? If you just go through the orientation camp website and see its syllabus, you will understand that what does we mean by the life skill. We are talking about the anger management. We are talking about the critical thinking. We are talking about the empathy, and these are the virtues. So these are something which are required to be taught by those who actually have experienced all these things, who have learned all these things up to a deeper level, who experienced it, and that's why we have been calling the right persons to interact with you, and that is very important to understand that it's a session which is primarily aimed for interaction. It is not a one-way communication. The second objective was to create the awareness about the India. What has been observed that people have been so much emphasizing on learning the mathematics, chemistry, and physics for qualifying the JEE exam. The other subjects are more or less not being taught or not being learned at that deep level. And actually, we need to learn. India has been a rich country in all the terms, particularly in the knowledge. The way our society has evolved, it's a dramatic, and it's really praiseworthy. So there will be some persons who will be talking about it. And these two aspects, the life skills and this awareness about the India, contributions of the India, this is something which we are going to cover in the orientation camp part 1. And in the part 2, the another aim associated with the orientation camp is supposed to be achieved. And this is about the importance of the community service through the NGOs and other similarly placed organizations. So once this part is over, then we will discuss in detail that what is to be done and how is to be done. But this is also very urgent need. Students need to learn that community service is very, very important, and it must be an integral part of everyone's life. So a little exposure should be given to the students, and with this aim, this orientation camp has been started. We are in fact experimenting. We did something last time, we learned something, we obtained the feedback from the students, we have corrected our course of action in this 2021, and definitely after this is over, we are going to collect feedback from all of you, and we will correct our way of conducting the orientation camp for the 2022 batch. So with these words, I welcome all of you, and thank you for listening me carefully. So over to you, Ranjit sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for an enlightening note. Now, I would like to call Dr. Ranjit Singh on the stage for the structure of orientation camp. Dr. Ranjit Singh is an organizing chairman for orientation camp and has teaching experience of more than 18 years at the postgraduate level.
Okay.
So please continue.
Thank you, Ayushi. Honorable Director, sir, respected Professor U.S. Tiwari, sir, Professor Shekhar Verma, sir, Professor Nitish Purohit, and Sasikant is here, and all other faculty members who have joined here, and my dear students. So my job was to discuss about the structure of this particular program, but Professor Nitish Purohit has did my job, and he has make my job relatively easier because most of the things he has already explained. So I will be explaining only those parts which has not been explained or not been covered explicitly by Professor Purohit. So originally the idea of orientation camp was to conduct classes on every Saturday. But because of the delay in the semester and delay of starting the first semester, even the classes were conducted, regular classes were booked on every Saturday also, and that's why we could not conduct this orientation camp on Saturday, and that's why we are conducting this orientation camp in a workshop mode, or in a really actually in a camp mode. So there will be full packed 7 days schedule, 7 days classes on orientation camp. There will be, and each of the classes will be of 1 hour duration, taken by the different faculty members assembled or invited from different places of the country on different areas, diverse areas. And at the end of every day, you will have assessment session of 2 hours duration. The timetable is circulated to you, and you could see that from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. we have kept for the assessment. And my dear students, you have to, once again, I'm reiterating the fact that this orientation camp is of 4 credit, and it is a compulsory course that has to be completed within this 4 years duration to get your BTech degree. Otherwise, your BTech degree will be in trouble. So this is a compulsory course that you have to undergo. And this time, this orientation camp, in the camp mode part 1, it will be of 2 credit in a LTP structure of 1:1:0. That is 1 lecture and 1 tutorial. The tutorial will be at the end of the every day. That is 2 hours, and there in the same we will be doing assessment also. So, and the remaining things has already been explained by Professor Purohit. So I will not be taking much of the time because we have to complete this within a time. So thank you all for your patient listening. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for the structure of orientation camp. Now I would like to call Professor Shekhar Verma for his address. Professor Shekhar Verma is professor in IT department and currently acting as Dean Special Development in IIIT Allahabad.
Thank you, Professor Ranjit. Honorable Director, sir, Professor U.S. Tiwari, Professor Nitish Purohit, my other colleagues who are here, and good morning to everyone. Though the welcome is a little late because students are arriving on the campus a little late. It's the fag end of the first semester. They've already appeared for their final C3 assessment, but the orientation remains. But orientation is very, very important. So it's all about us. It's all about the students. It's all about you. And what we are going to do here in this orientation camp is not the regular orientation that we are talking about. We are going to see that you are hurled into this particular college life, and all of a sudden you need to define yourself. And how to define yourself is what is important. And this is the biggest change and biggest adjustment that you are going to make because of your newfound freedom. And the newfound freedom has a corresponding increase in the personal responsibility and a lot of less external structure. So there are no set study times, no sleep time, no wake up time, no time to do anything, and nobody tells you that you have to do anything. So, but there is simultaneously there is a need to balance yourself, to multitask, and balance a myriad of new social responsibilities which were actually absent in your life. So how to do that and what you expect from life, from society, and how you can give back to the society is what this orientation camp is all about. And the first thing, the foremost thing, if you study Indian philosophy, they say, what is freedom? So they say that freedom is the apprehension of the necessity of laws. If there is no law, there is no freedom. If you obey the laws, then you are free. And this particular college life teaches you precisely this. The judgment of a judge is said to be free if he follows the laws. You are free as long as you obey the laws of nature. So how do you really start doing it? Start doing it by doing what? By doing time management. How are you going to manage time is the first thing that we in this orientation camp is going to tell you and going to emphasize upon and give you certain guidelines. Then there is stress management. How do you manage stress? Because there'll be no stress busters like your parents. So there has to be stress management. You have to learn life skills. You have to learn study skills. For the first time, your competitors are your group also. How do you learn and how do you lead by working in a group, and how do you innovate within the group so as to showcase your skills and at the same time prepare for your life is what is the idea. Then most importantly, your budget, your money, everything was being managed by your parents. You were not worried. You did not know what money is all about. For me, for one, I did not know that there's something called money. And when I have money, I need to balance. So one starts spending, but one learns to manage, and one has to manage. And how do we really, there'll be some pointers telling you that yes, money management is one of the most important things that you learn, and how to live on a budget is very, very important. But then when you work in a group, others are going to assert. How do you have your own assertiveness skills? How do you speak up in a manner which is assertive, but not aggressive or passive? And how do you don't allow people to take advantage of you? Is something that needs to be learned. It will involve learning and building healthy boundaries. then all this comes when we say that sharir hi dharma ka sadhan hai. So you need to have self-care skills. There will be self-care skills, mental care, physical care, your own physical well-being, your own mental well-being. I'll tell you something that happened. We were watching cricket, and the commentator said that this boy is very, very talented. Pujara had just come. The other commentator said all others are also equally talented. So talent is important, but not very, it's a given here. So how do you really learn to fail and cope up with failures and do, though you are best in your schools, everybody here is the best in the school. So how do you cope up with that? How do you manage yourself? How do you manage your emotional well-being? How do you manage your mental well-being is what something that you learn. You have to learn these life skills and self-care skills. How do you avoid risky behaviors? You are all of a sudden, you are free. As Sartre said that you are condemned to be free. So you are so free that you start doing anything. But then, how to keep safe? How to avoid risky behaviors? How do you have care for yourself? How do you become smart? And most important, you don't have to hide, because your parents could see everything. Now you have to ask for assistance. When you ask for assistance and you're not ashamed of asking for assistance, there are persons to assist you, to help you. There's a health center, there are teachers, there are mentors, they're your own friends. But you need to ask for help. Don't hide. But you must learn what to hide and when to seek assistance. But then you also need to respect rules and policies. You are not respecting because your parents were there. They were framing policies for you. They were the people who are adapting. Now, as I said, freedom is the apprehension of necessity of laws. You need to respect rules. You need to respect policy. And how do you do? And how do you flower within that is what is important. And then finally, what is most important, my friends, is you need to display honesty, integrity, and perseverance. You fail, you stand and then fight, and there's another day, there's a new day to fight. You new day to learn, new day to live. And this is the most important thing. You need to incorporate personal values and ethics in every aspect of your life. And your growth in the college and henceforth will be based on this. And still you need to be committed to your goals. And then what are goals? Then you must learn to live in the society. You must learn to learn. You must learn to give back to the society. For that, you must know what is Indian society. What were we there? What were we doing? What is this society? Are we forgetting what we have achieved in the past? What was our glorious past? Everything that our culture has given, you need not forget. So you are preparing, as Professor Nitish said, for physics, chemistry, mathematics. You are cracking an examination. You are trying to scale a wall. Now you have to run a mile. You are a marathon runner. You are not scaling a wall. So for that, you must learn our past, a glorious past and not so glorious a past. You must learn. Now what happened was the most important thing in life that you're going to learn in these 4 years is that your teacher does not know anything. When you write something, your teacher is not supposed to know anything. As against what is there in your school life, a teacher was supposed to know everything, was to correct. So you must be in a position to have an idea, not just an idea, but to express the idea so that others who are not interested in your idea and they're not paid like teachers to correct your answer books, sit up and listen to your idea. So how to get your idea across, how to innovate. So innovation is something, so that means your idea must not be a mere idea. It should be translated and translatable to something which can be used by the society. How can you learn to be able to discover? How do you give back to the society is what is the crux of this entire orientation camp, my friends. So in these 5 days, what you are going to learn will be limited, but the influence that it should have will be there for life. You will be looking back at this orientation camp with a smile that, yes, apart from what we were doing, this was a significant add-on to making me successful. So this is the mantra to being successful. But what is success is also going to be defined in these 5 days. So it will be a personal orientation. The takeaways are going to be personal. The teaching is going to be a broadcast, but the learning is going to be personal. So gear up for these 5 days, my friends, and learn to give back to the society, learn to innovate, learn to take care of yourself and your surroundings. So happy learning in these 5 days. Thank you. Thank you so much. Professor Anjit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for speaking. Now I would like to call Professor U.S. Tiwari for his address. He is holding the research and teaching experience for more than 30 years. He is one of the senior most faculty and professor at IIIT Allahabad. He is currently an acting Dean Faculty Affairs. So please, I would like to call you on stage for speak.
Thank you, Professor Anjit, and good morning to everybody. Honorable Director, sir, Professor Sekhar Verma, Professor Nitish, Professor Ranjit Singh. If Professor Maninder Agrawal is there, I welcome you, sir, and other colleagues, as well as my dear students. You know, last year we started with this orientation program or camp, and I was very enthusiastic about that, and I am still about it. And I would like to explain the whole philosophy of orientation and why it is needed in every institution. My method of teaching is not preaching. So the teaching and preaching should be very different. And teaching is basically learning. So I generally define teaching and learning as a unified process. It cannot be one person teaching, a teacher is teaching, and the students are learning. This one-way process is not correct. Teaching and learning should go together, which means there is a participative learning and teaching. And orientation camp is basically about to introduce that. That is what my objective is. I will also take one lecture on critical thinking and learning. So that I think it is on Saturday. So I will talk about that on that day. But today, let me explain you the total idea about. So what happened that, you know, some of the villagers came to my house and asked me that, what do you teach? And I said, I teach artificial intelligence. So they asked me very curiously, what is this artificial intelligence? So I told them that it is basically to make our machines to become intelligent. They very laughed too much. And they said, sir, अरे सर पहले आप human being को तो intelligent बनाओ, machine को intelligent बना के क्या करोगे? And that was really the crux of, you know, I was thinking that I am teaching for since last 30 years. And am I able to make our students intelligent, my friends intelligent? And what are the processes I learned about? So how do I know about it? And then I started, you know, learning that how our human brain learns. So we have started a course here called Cognitive Computing, which talks about the cognitive science, where we we learn about how our brain works, how it learns, and what are the processes, what are the areas, how the neuron activates and creates network in our brain. Are they forget? What we mean by forgetting, etc., etc. All these, what are the processes in human brain? I started learning about that and teaching in classes in cognitive systems, in cognitive process modeling, etc., which is going on in IIIT. And then I found that many things we have to learn. We have to experiment in our programs, in teaching programs, because teaching is, any teaching is basically try to make our students and all the colleagues intelligent together. And that intelligence is because of the learning. So how does the human learning takes place? And critical thinking is one of the very important areas into that. Unfortunately, in many of our institutions, this part is not taught. This part is not learned. This part is not shared. It is not interacted with. And that is what is lacking, you know. So whatever you do, you know, there was a whole, we call as the first wave of critical thinking in 1920s in US, where people have, you know, fought for that this instruction-based learning and teacher-centric learning is not a good method. So the learning process or the teaching process should not be teacher-centric. It should be at least student-centric. Students should be participative. There should not be information flow from teacher towards the students only. In that case, if the information only flows from teacher to student, then there is no feedback, number one. Number two, the total information or knowledge will not grow. The growth will not take place. Whatever there is there in the head of the teacher, some of them will pass to the students. There will not be growth in the whole process. So teaching learning process is a process which goes between the students and teachers so that the total knowledge grows in time. And that can only happen if you do some kind of reinforcement learning. And we know what is there in reinforcement learning. In the reinforcement learning, the learner or the agent has to find out what is the environment. Environment plays a very important role. You get some information from the environment, then agent is acting. When they act, they change the environment. So the information content of the environment changes. Again, you get new information. Then you again act, you again change the environment. And in this way, the whole loop goes on. And this is the way our brain learns. This is the way we should do in teaching. So that is what is very, very important. The higher learning in India should take place in a student-centric way. There should be a learning process, and that learning process should start from now. So orientation program is a kind of orienting your attitude. It is not the instructions, you should do that, you should not do that, you should do that, you should not do that. If you start preaching like this, nobody will learn anything. If anybody say that, you know what happens between the guardians and their children. You start telling them, you don't do that, you don't do that. Many times the person does that why my parents are not saying that don't do that. So let me see if I do that, what will happen. So that way it should not, the whole orientation camp should not be turned into that. It is not a question of preaching. It is yourself designing the environment, participating in the environment. And the environment consists of environment in the institute, environment in your family, environment in the country, the society you live in. When I say country is equivalent to society. Please always see that. Country is not an abstract land or something like that. Country means society. Society we live in. So we should interact with society. We should see what our problems are, how we can contribute to solving those problems, and in turn, we will create new knowledge, and creating new knowledge will change our lives as a whole of the whole society. It is not that my life only. I cannot change my life and make it very successful and happy if the environment and the society where I live in, they are not happy. If my neighbors are not happy, if the person who is working in my house is not happy, how can I be very happy? So that is what the question of happiness, of earnings, of having the life skills, etc., comes up. It is basically based on how do we create new knowledge, how do we participate into that, and how do we apply knowledge. Any knowledge loop will not enhance unless we apply the knowledge. So knowledge application is also a very important area to learn, and that is how we have changed our teaching here. So when we say that we talk about tutorials, we talk about continuous assessment. We give many in all over the world, mostly in the engineering institutes and technical institutes, people get assignment. Assignment is one of the important areas of teaching and learning. You get an assignment which is totally new problem, and collectively a whole group solves that problem in one semester. That kind of learning is unparalleled. You can have n number of classes, and even that cannot teach you how to apply knowledge and create a new project, create a new thing, a new idea. Project does not mean a simple product. A new idea is a project. And idea is important, what we call as the ideation. So any innovation starts with ideation, having a new idea, clicking an idea. Just in your discussion with your friends, in your lobby, in your room, while playing a game, in that group discussion, you can ideate something. You come up with an idea. And then here is an environment where one is free to implement that. Don't go by that, what are the windings, what are the chains, what are the things which we have to do, what are the things which we may not have to do. A young life is about learning. Even in the Gurukul system, the young people were there at one point and they were free from all needs. They were not bothered about what king says. They have innovated on their own. They were living in jungles. And then many people, 24 hours thinking about something, coming together, doing something, propagating that knowledge, getting more team members, creating a more bigger group, and then creating a school of thought. That is why those IITs and institutes like of national importance are here. This is not for training some people to get some job. The whole world needs knowledge. Our society needs knowledge, a new knowledge, which will give products to new things, new properties, new living things, etc., new services. But basic thing is that, so are we contributing to the knowledge? Unfortunately, many of our institutes all over the country are not doing this basic thing. So orientation is one of the developing an aptitude for creating knowledge. This is the first part. The second part, which I will speak for just a few minutes and then I'll stop, is that, you have had a particular kind of life before coming here. And that's why it is a break. It is a break between the whatever you are doing up till now, your past, and now what you are going to do. So this is a place of higher education. You have earlier stayed with your parents, having a particular kind of life. You have to do certain things. You were only 10 to 4 student. Like in the university, you have a day scholar. So from 10 o'clock to, let us say, 4 o'clock in the evening, you remain a student. When you come back to house, you become something else. Here in the institute, you are embedded in a learning environment. You are 24 hours student. And you can think about every time. There is no timetable for doing the assessment, whatever you get. There is no timetable for having one class or interaction or meeting or going to the lab. Our labs are 24 hours open. Anyone can go anytime, can start working. And you have all the facilities there. So this is a kind of environment we have created where you are getting embedded into that environment. And this is a totally breakup from the earlier thing, whatever you are doing. Unfortunately, many of the students who are coming through, 2 years of competitive environment, 2 years of coaching, etc., having a tick marking, giving exams every day and having a multiple choice questions, ticking one of them, have lost many things, have lost the basic procedures of brain. The language part, the language flow has not developed them. You have not written an essay of 5,000 words in the last 4 or 5 years. And that is a great loss. A thought process cannot be, cannot be created without having writing in language. So you should have a language flow in your brain. While you speak, while you write a long answer. We have lost this habit of long answer. There are 4 choices and you have to tick one. So you have forgotten how to write. And that I am seeing with my research scholars. They cannot write one paragraph, comfortably. So this is the thing which we have lost by doing some extra kind of competitive things, and having pressure about that. Here you have developed a kind of resistance to learning, to reading. So students have forgotten about to read books. So this is a breakup. This orientation program should tell you that read books, understand philosophy, apply knowledge, create some idea. If you start doing this, other life skills will follow. There is enough time in the life. A life is a whole learning process. Even today I learn how to cook a new recipe. And I enjoy that. So you will never forgotten where to learn the life skill. You can learn the life skill lifelong. But this knowledge creates an environment you will never get. After this 5 years of staying in the institute, When you go to a company, when you go to some other place, you become a working machine. So this opportunity you will never get, my dear friend. Staying in hostel, away from all the things, etc., etc., having a learning environment, 24 hours lab open. This is a great opportunity. Learn, create something. Don't bother about you will get a job or not get a job, or etc., etc. If you do something, you will get a job. I can give you the guarantee. So with this, I will again appeal all of you that not only these 5 days, you will develop a kind of attitude in yourself so that you start learning and then contributing to the knowledge, have a critical thinking, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure that if you really be here and learn together, we will come up with a new ideas, new things, etc., etc. So with that hope, again, happy learning, and again, welcome you all. And I will be taking your class on maybe on Saturday, and before that. And I am here anytime anyone wants to discuss with me. I am free there. I will love to discuss with anybody, any idea, anything, any of your problems. So I am there. I will be available to you. So thank you all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for this inspiring address. Now I would like to invite Professor Manindra Agarwal. Professor Manindra Agarwal is a professor at Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Deputy Director at IIT Kanpur. He has been honored with Padma Shri in 2013 and also the recipient of first Infosys Prize in Mathematics, the Global Prize in 2006, and the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award in Mathematical Sciences in 2003. Professor Manindra, you may continue now, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for introduction, and thank you for inviting me to this event. I welcome all the new students to IIIT Allahabad. It is, COVID has put a lot of constraints in the way the classes are conducted, or even students had to learn things staying at home. But hopefully all that is behind us. And I suppose that almost all these students are on campus, and the remaining will be there soon. So for the young student, this is an opportunity to explore many new things. Most of you would probably be first time staying in hostels. And IIIT has a wonderful orientation program, which they devised last year and used it for the batch last year. It exposes these students to a lot of new directions of thinking. It's not just limited to study, but explore their thought processes on many issues of life, including what are things that should be done and what things should be avoided. Sometimes it's easy to take a path which is not necessarily ethical, and these are the times when we have to actually make difficult choices and stay true to the learnings that we have imbibed over years. These things may appear, these choices may appear, problematic, but in the long term, they all pay off extremely well. And that also holds for the jobs. A lot of you would be looking forward to completing your studies and taking up a very good job. And when you make these choices, or when the time comes and you make the choice about which job to take, there is always a dilemma that there is a job which is higher paying than another one, but the second job is more interesting. And the choice becomes as to which one should we go for. And I've seen many students simply take the highest paying job, irrespective of whether it is to their liking or not. And invariably, such choices end up after a few years in frustrating the person. And they because they are not really happy in what they are doing, they tend to fall back, and the others who are started with a more interesting job, perhaps less paying, go further up. In fact, I always believe, and this is something I heard from a very wise person, that what is really important is not your first salary, rather it is your last salary. So one should aim to maximize the last salary, not the first salary. So these are some of the experiences that I've had over my years of teaching and advising students. And I'm sure that in an environment like IIIT Allahabad, each one of you will find plenty of opportunities to explore various aspects of your personality. There's a beautiful campus, all the amenities, and also therefore become a better person overall and able to think through and make choices which are long-term beneficial to you instead of just going for a short-term gain. With this, I give you all my best wishes for your studies at IIIT and wish you all great success in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm sure that the audience must have liked listening to your words. Now I request our Honorable Director, Professor
Thank you very much.
was
Welcome
serving
to all.
as professor.
Go ahead.
So he was serving as a professor in the Department of Biotechnology in IIT Madras in Chennai, and he is director of MNNIT, and he took additional charge as director of IIIT Allahabad. So you may continue.
Good morning to all of you. Respected learned faculties of IIIT, Maninder Agrawal ji from IIT Kanpur, students, welcome to all this orientation program. First of all, I would like to congratulate IIT faculty for organizing such a wonderful program for our newer students and the other students also in the campus. I think this is an online program. And I would like to say one thing. This program looked like to be taught in 7 days in a power full orientation manner. Means full of lectures, full of tutorials, and everything in compact in 7 days program. So you'll never had a time to freedom, looks like to me. And looks like this program is made in such a way that we are all disoriented. So you are disoriented, so they want to make it orientation program. So you go for good orientation things. First of all, I would say that everybody needs some guidance to do the work in an orderly fashion. I can give you an example of one thing. When you walk on the road, why you walk on the left side? Why not right side? The two school of thoughts are there, and walking in a particular manner where the people will follow will make you in an order manner. Orderly, so that the incidents of accident will be less. If you are walking haphazardly, you're going to, hit each other, and that will create a problem in the society. So what other people have said, that we have to learn something where we can make society in order. Second thing is that not only the society, but yourself and your life, your learning, and the future also should be in order so that you can contribute to the society. People say we can create a knowledge park where you can go and acquire the knowledge. I don't think you can learn the knowledge by putting forcefully knowledge into your brain. Knowledge has to acquire just like immunity. If you are in a attacked by certain people who are knowledgeable, you sit with them, you discuss with them, talk to them, you can develop the ability to, 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 to understand the problems and how to solve it. I think that process has to be created in you itself. If you are not perceptive of a knowledge, if you don't understand what you want and what kind of knowledge you want to require, suppose you want to become an army officer. So what required to become an army officer from the very beginning, you have to read, you have to interact, and you have to see what army officer does, what is their duties, how to get into that thing. Unless you know all the process, you cannot proceed for that. So probably the orientation here is basically they will tell you what is the process to be succeed in life and to contribute to the society. They are saying that you have to go there and contribute to society after you graduate, after you get the degree. I differ with these things a little bit in a different way, because a society is basically when you become a BTech students get a job. You're also serving a society because you are human resources. You don't have to go to the village and do the something, but you can, whenever you go to the village, talk to some people, get something newer, what you have learned in life to your neighbors. Get something in order. You don't have to teach them. You become a leader in doing the things. Small way. See, when you get a job, 30 years, 20 years, nobody does because they are busy in their personal life. They get married, they have children, they have to raise them, they have to get them a college, they have to save their job, they have to promotions, all kind of things are going in life. So contributing to society of deviating from your personal and professional life is not a good. You have to balance them. So what this program probably is going to teach you that how to balance in life and learn from the past and other people who are knowledgeable, who have contributed, who are successful, who are even the failure people. You have to learn why they have failure in their life, what they did not do to get success. Once you understand that kind of questions and in your life, that I have to be, but some people get failure, some people get failed in high school, intermediate, BSc, MSc. But it doesn't mean that they are disoriented people, because they have not got the guidance to become a part of that. So when you become successful, you make sure that you guided some of the people and learn from their failures and teach them that you should have done these things in your life to get the things done. So welcome all of you. I think you will have a 7 days program, which will guide you in a different aspects of your life, past, history, Vedas, our Ayurveda, maybe other part they are going to teach you. They are going to modern technology, robotics, artificial intelligence, all kind of things, mixture of things. So you'll be bombarded by the knowledge. How much you grasp it, how much you get it, that is up to you. And I'm sure this program definitely awaken you in a new dimension in your life. And good luck and successful for the program, all of the teachers of Triple IT, and I wish you all the success of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your precious thoughts to the audience. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sashikant Rai for the vote of thanks. Dr. Shashi has more than 7 years of academic experience. He is associated with Triple IT since 2010 and is having number of research papers published in various national and international journals of repute. Sir, you may continue.
Thank you, Baljot. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to give a vote of thanks. So the first orientation starts with that we should be thankful to everyone who has contributed for us to be here. So it's a very tough job. So thank you, sir, for Professor Lee, sir, for giving this opportunity. So I will start with our Honorable Director, sir, by thanking him that what he has shared, it's not about the only the knowledge or the subject knowledge, but they are the people like Director, sir, or people like Professor Maninder U.S. Tiwari, sir, and Professor Shekhar Verma. They are an institution in itself, not institution itself only by the subject knowledge, but they have the practical aspect of the society. They have interacted with the society, and when they share their thoughts, they are sharing what would be the objective of the individuals or the society and what they should be achieved. So I thank Honorable Director Sir for taking out his time, because he is having a very busy schedule because he is managing 2 institutions. So thank you, sir. So I would like to thank also Professor Mandir Agrawal that he has been associated with us for a very long time. We have been very much fortunate to have his experience, and I really thank him that what is success and the real definition of success he has defined. So thank you, Maninder sir, for sharing the thoughts. So I would like to thank our US Tiwari sir, Professor US Tiwari. He has been associated with us, and he has been few people who have started. I think in India, he was a few people who have started the cognitive research. He has been leading the human computer interface interaction department. So, and his thoughts about society would be, or his lecture in this orientation program will really engrossing, and we are looking forward to it. So, thank you, Professor US Tiwari sir, for your insightful thoughts. Professor Shekhar Verma, he has been you can say one of the pioneer professors who has been involved not only in the academics, but also in the administrative. He has been contributing towards a lot of management practices. As you know, when science is in lab, it is a science. When it comes out of the lab, it is management. So he has been managing all the things. So I really thank Professor Shekhar Verma. So now I come to the brain behind this program, that is Professor Nitish Purohit. He has been very instrumental in planning these orientation plans, and he has been contributing a lot. He has been putting a time apart from handling his academic and administrative responsibilities. He has been working very hard to realize such programs, and it will really help, because these programs really helps to change your orientation. What will be the objective? Because the success of your life will be based on the objectives that you set. So thank you, Professor Purohit sir. Next is our my senior, or my big brother, that is Professor Ranjit Singh. He has been always being a helping hand, and he has always given an opportunity whenever it is there. So, and as you know, as he has talked in numbers, he's very good in numbers. He's a person of finance. And whenever he is doing some job, he was busy. Whenever I interacted with him, whenever I visited in his room, he was putting a lot of effort in planning this program, in organizing this program. So, Professor Ranjit sir, thank you to you as well. So, and the most important, the participants, the students, you are welcome to IIIT, and thank you for the patient listening these program. And surely these 5 days you will have a better perspective of life and a better perspective how to take various decisions of life. So thank you to the students. The most important aspects of any institution, our faculty, I thank all the faculty members who are present here, thanking you for your presence. And any program is not possible without the support. So I really thank the technical team. I thank all the support staff who have supported in this program. So I thank everyone. And I look forward that you will be having a very engrossing and very interesting sessions that are ahead. So thank you, sir. Thank you to Ranjit, sir.
Thank you, Sasikant. And actually, one more thing that I would like to tell here or express here, that very few times it happens that our inaugural session in any event, it is completed exactly dot on time at 11 o'clock. So thanks to each one of us for being in time. And now it's a time to stand up for the national anthem. Baljot and Ayushi, can you play the national anthem?
Yes, sir. I'm sharing this.
Please switch on your video, and we'll just stand up for the national anthem.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, visible.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
जन गण मन जय हे भारत पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा जन जन तरंगा कब सपना में जागे कब सुबह होगी गाहे सब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत जय विधाता जय 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 Okay, so thank you, sir, and thank you each one of us who have joined here. Now we shall just break for a quick 5 minutes, and then after that we shall assemble. We shall start the first technical session of our orientation course with Professor Jyoti Rana from Sri Vishwakarma Skill University, Haryana. So we'll just have a quick break of 5 minutes, and we shall be joining soon after. Thank you. Thank you, sir.